Good morning. This is Norma Cowie with a Sunday thought. During the week, when I was considering what I was going to talk about today, I put down perseverance. And why would I choose perseverance? I believe I have spoken towards that word before. Words are so important as to what they mean, how they affect us, what we do and deal. In fact, I had to persevere this morning because when I went to just speak generally, I had a terrible voice. So I put some songs on that I like on my computer here and sang along. And pretty soon, even though I still have a little bit of frogginess in my throat, it cleared up. And that's, in a way, shows how we persevere. Also, at this time of the year, where I live, it's very, very cold. It's, what is it, 20 after 9, it's -4. It's been much colder during the evening or during the nighttime. And we have had quite a bit of snow for us. I live in an area where we usually don't get really cold and snow at this time of the year normally. So it's a little bit different and you have to persevere. The roads, a lot of snow have been on the roads, so graders have been out. And again, everything is indicative of life, how we persevere, how we get out there and clean off the snow and the ice, actually, because the snow came down and then it was so cold it all froze, cleaning out ice off our cars and warming them up, and then going out on the roadways where it's a little slippery, etc. Now, when we think of life, how we live, everything is actually, what would you say, a symbol of how things are and how we handle and deal. I remember back years ago when my children were small and I was working and their dad was working, and we had all the Christmas thing to do, and we would decorate and we would have, then came Christmas Day when you had to have all the goodies for the meal, big meal, cook the turkey, etc. I think I used to, at the end of it, just be exhausted from everything that I had to do. I don't have to do that anymore. And actually, I live by myself, and I probably shouldn't be saying that out there, but that's true. And with lots of people around, but it's very, very, very indicative of how things are and how things are working. So how do we persevere in life? Now, I have a great belief system. And that belief system has helped me many, many times in my life. I have a sense of an awareness. And I often think, when we don't have something to support us, what do we do when we encounter difficulty in our lives? I know when I was out shopping just the other day, what I found was people grumbling about the cost of everything. And that definitely has made a huge rise recently. But we persevere through that. And a lot of people talking. I've had several people stopping, and as we're talking, because I'm a bit of a chatterbox, talking about in the historics of time, how there have been great inflation periods. And the reading I did for December in Norma Talks just the other day, how much it showed a lot of stress through this month, and we have choice. Do we take the stress on and make it inside, or do we breathe it and persevere with it and decide the best way of handling and dealing with those situations that are going on in our lives? This is always a year, and you ask any parent, that there is a lot of stress in December anyway. It's stressful. You have children wanting this toy or that toy, and you may not have the money for this toy or that toy, or you may not want that particular toy in your house. That's happened to me a couple of times. So there's always a lot of stress of what we can do and how much we can put into it and what we can bring about. I was contemplating perseverance this morning. Actually, I was watching France play Poland on the TV. World soccer. And if you don't know and interested, France actually won 3-1. But anyway, I was thinking about perseverance, because even though I stream a lot of these in the sense that I don't have a prepared text, I just talk, is that I was thinking how perseverance has a lot to do with your faith, or another word I could use is belief. What is your belief? What is your sense? Do you sense that you always can get through things? I mean, I've had a very up and down life over time. I've had things go brilliantly well, and I've had the times when I just shook my head. I wasn't sure what I was going to do next. But I had miracles occur in my life, being at the right place at the right time. How does that work? How does that happen? And over time, with those miracles happening, I began to have a lot more faith in that, no matter what, no matter how long it goes on of whatever is happening. Excuse me. There comes a time, if I persevere, that everything will work out. And I came to absolutely believe that. I also know how to help myself create in the sense of what I'm wanting to create. And that's worked out well for me too. But there again, what do we persevere? Is it usually it comes from the outside, and the outside world infiltrates, could we say, into our world. Outside world over which we have no real control over what's happening. And so we persevere, and people have persevered since time memorial, persevered through war, persevered through famine, persevered through people just trying to dictate what needs to be done. We've persevered as a people, as a sense of knowing and being. But life goes on, always. And what do you make of it? Do you sit around and see everything in a negative light and grumble? And my throat's all firming up here, and excuse me, please. There. I've had some sinus issues, and it comes down into my throat, and it's annoying. But again, I have to persevere with that. Now, what I was talking about is that people have persevered through history. And there's a lot of people. I just watched a movie the other day around some refugees coming out of Syria and finding their way to Germany. It was on Netflix. I might have talked about it before. And it was called Swimmers. It was an excellent movie that brought home how people persevere through tremendous odds because they believe, or they hold up the faith, or they have the awareness of the direction of where they want to go. And so how are you going to persevere in this particular time period leading up to Christmas? One thing I like about December is once we have solstice, which is around the 21st, I'm not sure what date it is this year. That means the sun is beginning to come back north. And as the sun begins to come back north, of course, over time, it's not right away, but everything warms up. I'm a heat person. I love the warmth. I like heat. I like being warm. I don't like being cold. And so consequently, it's like it can be the darkest time, but there's lots of light outside. Even already in the streets, there's lights. People have their lights up. I have my lights up inside. There's a lighting, a sense of we are lights. We bring the light to ourselves and to the world. Are we being grumpy, or are we being optimistic? Are we sharing our light? Are we doing what we can to aid and help where we can? How are we handling this? Are we persevering through the ups and downs that are going on right now and the unexpected things that seem to be happening everywhere? I think really, no matter what's going on, it's our individual way we have of handling issues, how we can bring forward the sense of who we are and what we are, how we come forward in the direction of being. And most of all, do we have faith? Do we have faith in ourselves and our lives? And do we speak out or not do we speak out? What are we doing? But no matter what, are we persevering to create the best life that we can for ourselves, those that are around us, those that we love and care about? Well, that's my Sunday thought for this day. And I will be back tomorrow night with mental mind treatments. And let me know if you need a mental mind treatment, or come on live on there just before 7. So you take care. Have a great day, and smile. Blessings.